Good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful people on this beautiful Saturday morning. I'm Tammy. You know me as the butterfly, hopefully. The butterfly, I brush it off. Brandon is going to be with us. He's running a bit behind, but he is joining us, is my understanding. Um, so, what I'm going to do is let's get over. I see someone has popped in. Good morning, my brother, my brother. Happy birthday to you again. I certainly enjoyed. I got to hang out with my brother a bit, you guys, yesterday, and it was awesome, awesome sauce, as the kids will say. And also, good morning to you, Brenda Davis. Thank you for rocking with us, you guys. And well, you know this. We're back. We were able to. Well, we weren't. They did fix whatever was going on with Streamyard streaming to the Facebook page, your regular Facebook profile. So we did have some issues with that yesterday. But if you've been rocking with us, you know why we're here. We're here for daily motivations for African American success. And while we do say this is for African American success, the barbecue is for all of us because we're all of the human race. We didn't get where we are alone. We will not get where we are trying to go alone. We need everybody, all races. We need the human race. Let me say that, the human race, because when I say all races, I feel like I'm doing what society has done this whole time was create division based on the color of our skin, and we could take that a bit deeper, but we won't go there on this day. So what I'm going to do, let me go ahead and put my topic out for today. And you guys, if you, I know yesterday we've been giving out we've had some deep readings, and we've been putting out some things to do. The rush hour one, I'm reminded of that one. If you've applied this, or if you've, over the last few days, if you've had one of these that really registered with you and that you took it into your day, drop us a note. And if you don't want to do it here amongst this crowd, send me a private one. Let me know how these last few days has helped you or made you think more, do less of one thing or some things. So drop that note to us. Hey, KL, how's it going? KL says hello to everyone. I'm going to go ahead and get you guys out there. And I am going to move forward with reading our daily motivation. I don't know what I would call this. I guess the gist of the show, why we do this, what we're hoping to get from this is what Dennis Kimbro tells us or describes the book. It's how he describes the book. So I'm going to go ahead and get that going for us this morning as I wait for Brandon to do his thing. And it looks like he just sent me his key, but I'm still going to go ahead. I hate to do it without Instagram because they be rocking over there. But I'm going to go ahead and do my thing. Okay, so daily motivations for African American success will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead you to the achievement of your true goals. I love it. Your true goals. In 365 short but powerful motivations, one for each day of the year, Dennis Kimbro, author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes, but also when to say no, and when to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans, such as, but certainly not limited to, Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh, there's that word, you guys, fresh encouragement every day. Or every day of the year, let me say that. But when what it teaches you will last a lifetime. According to Black Enterprise, each affirmation in this valuable and thought provoking book takes only a few minutes to read, but is worthy of more time for contemplation. And that's what I was asking about. How are you contemplating when you leave this platform? are you contemplating? What does that look like? We want to hear from you. Good morning, Brandon. I'm going to move forward with setting this key up so you could be ready to hit live there
Good morning. Good morning.
for our YouTubers.
You sounded good, Reed, during the beginning. I appreciate it.
Hey, I've had a little practice. I've had a little practice going on.
I figure you got it memorized by now. I think we both pretty much got most of it memorized. But welcome everybody to the End of the Season podcast.
Go
Um,
live for Instagram.
I'm sure my mom already did the introduction. Sorry about that. I had a little something going on here prior to, but mom took care of the show, and we are here live on this. What day is it, Mom? 87?
Day 87. Let us get us back out here. Day
Is it
87.
87?
Yes. Mm-hmm. How about that?
Congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah. And it's April the 27th, coming to the end of another month. Coming to the end of another month.
Yes, we are.
Sure. But you ready?
I'll drink
You
to
want me to
that.
read it?
Yes.
Yeah. You got your spoon in there and everything? Yeah.
Yes.
All right, cool,
My
cool, cool.
queen doesn't want to settle this morning. And you know, I've made it
I
a
think I put too much in
transformation
mine.
moment. Say that again.
I said my cream a little too light skinned. I think I put too much in.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with mine. Just doesn't want to settle.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
My cream is just super cream. But all right, yeah, let's jump into it, y'all. While we're here, I got AD, man. AD, welcome to the show, man. It was good to see you yesterday at the Kyrie Nichols event in celebration of his life. They're trying to build a state-of-the-art skate park in honor of Tyree Nichols. I don't know if you remember who Tyree Nichols is, but he was the young man who was beaten up by those 5 police officers. So I got the chance to go up there and spend time with his mother, family, and the people that support him. Skate park, and it was a beautiful event. It was absolutely beautiful. So if y'all can support Tyree Nichols, his family, his mother, it's also in coordination, I think, with Tony Hawk, famous, probably the most famous pro skateboarder in the world, who made the Tony Hawk games when I was a kid. They're trying to build a state-of-the-art skate park here in Memphis in honor of Tyree Nichols. So we got a chance to like create it, basically create it and start to curate that space. So y'all please support that initiative. Just Google it. I think it's by an organization called Later Skater and Tony Hawk. So shout out to Tyree Nichols, his mother, his family, and the end of police brutality, you know, as it forms here. So, but without further ado, let's jump right into the segment today on this April the 27th. And it's titled, You'd Better Eat Your Wheaties. You'd better eat your Wheaties. You like Wheaties, Mama? Is that a cereal you like?
Nope. Nope.
Me neither.
Nope.
I'm a old Kellogg's guy, you know. But you'd better eat your Wheaties. And the quote is from Leontine Kelly, the first African American female bishop of the Methodist Episcopal Church. And she said, there are no shade trees on the road to success. There are no shade trees on the road to success. And the passage is as follows. In all of life's endeavors, your own efforts will help you the most. Loose wires give out no musical notes. But when their ends are fastened, the piano, the harp, or the violin is born. Free steam drives no machine, but harnessed and combined with the piston and turbine, it makes useful machinery. An unhampered river drives no dynamos, but dam it up, and you can generate sufficient power to light a city. So our lives must be disciplined if we are to be any real service to the world. There are many well-intentioned people who will tell you not to worry about the future. All you have to do is place your faith in God. So you should, but with the complete understanding that the Creator helps those who help themselves. Determination and discipline are the opposite of chance. When we practice determination and discipline, we take our destiny into our own hands. The determined person refuses to surrender to the random winds. Test our fate in the hands of fortune, we shall sometimes succeed and sometimes fail, but we will always be weak. In charge of our fate and fail some of the time, but we will always be strong. We will have no regrets about our life, for we know that we gave it we had to give. So be determined, be disciplined, be strong. Seize opportunities. Remember that you will never be faced with a challenge you cannot overcome. And the affirmation that we read 3 times, one for me, one for you, and one for the people that you're going to send this to, because we know you will, is today I will gather the strength to become more determined and disciplined in order to reach my goals. Today, it's a Saturday. It's a good day to do it, y'all. Today, I will gather the strength to become more determined and disciplined in order to reach my goals. And last time, today, I will gather the strength to become more determined and disciplined in order to reach my goals. Over to you, Butterfly. What you think about that?
I want you to take this one first.
You want me to take it? I was going to sip on my coffee, baby. Come on.
Yes, you were late. This is your punishment. No, I'd like to piggyback off of you today.
Okay, sounds good. Well, off at first blush, you better eat your Wheaties. So that's a, Wheaties always has people on the front that are like sports icons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the most successful people in a very competitive environment. It's like to me, it's saying that you got to keep tight, and the bright lights are always going to be on you. So never back away from pressure. For example, in fighting, my team and I, we always say pressure, pressure, pressure. Pressure can either burst a pipe or it can create a diamond. The difference is, are you prepared for that pressure? Mm. Are you prepared? Right? I always say proper preparation prevents poor performance. Right? The 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And part of that preparation is beyond physical. If you're on the cover of Wheaties, it's not just because you were 7 feet tall. It's not just because you have a disposition, a genetic disposition to be able to run fast or great hand-eye coordination, but rather it's the determination and the commitment to a skill and to grow, the process of growing a skill, and the process of doing it under the lights. There are people that are excellent in the gym, but when those lights hit, it's different. So there's more to it than luck. There's more to it than faith. There's more to it than even hard work. But it's a combination of maybe these 3 things and more that creates successful people. But it takes strength, right? And where do you get strength from? And it says it here. Let me see if I can find it. It says, where are we? Yeah, if we rest our fate in the hands of fortune, we will sometimes succeed and sometimes fail, but we will always be weak. So it's 50-50 right there, right? Like if you just rested in fate and you're like, oh, whatever, no matter what I do, I'm just going to put it in the hands of God. I'm going to put it in the hands of fate. I'm going to put it in the hands of destiny. Sometimes you'll succeed and sometimes you'll fail, but you'll always be weak. But if you take charge of your fate, and sometimes this can rub people the wrong way, right?
Yes.
If you have any extra oomph behind when you say I'm gonna do something or I'm determined to do something, um, then sometimes people see you as if, who do you think you are to think that you could be so successful, to think that you could be the needle in the haystack, to think that you um, have what it takes, despite all of your circumstances, to be successful. And I think even more so than that, it's a reflection on, it's a projection from the people themselves, right? It's a projection from them as if they're seeing themselves in you, you know, and they don't think that they could do it themselves. So why can you do it? You know? So it's not
Right.
really about the person they're talking to. It's about them. Like we say, it's about you. You know, who do you bring to the conversation, and what lens are you filtering the communications and the circumstances and the and environment and events and things that happen to you, and how do you respond? And so I think if you're eating your Wheaties, that means you're preparing. Wheaties is breakfast, right? Fast. Um, when you fast, they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It's because if you've been fasting like you have throughout the night, right? You haven't eaten in hours since you've gone to sleep. Body has an exaggerated reaction to the first thing after that fast. So likewise, I mean, Wheaties, and personally, that's not the most meal, but it's perceived as that. So I think there's even another there too, but I don't know if they meant to do it. Have been perceived as this, uh, branded with sports icons on the cover. It's been as this super healthy thing. But if I could take it a deeper, that's just what it's been branded as. It really doesn't have that much nutritional value, right? Um, but people can think, oh, you're just eating Wheaties. Oh, you're just Popeye. You just ate your spinach. You just did this. No, there's a lot more to it than that. All right. There's a lot than that. So be determined, be disciplined, be strong, and seize opportunities. The people that take destiny into their own hands, they seize. They go out and search for the opportunities. They are hunting. They're hunters. They're not gatherers, right? People who are successful in competitive arenas are hunters. And there's a difference between, there's an active participation in it as opposed to stumbling upon success. So for me, being determined, being disciplined, like they said here, are the opposite of chance. When you're determined, it's not that you were successful. When you're disciplined, it's not surprising that you were successful, because this is what you prepared for. If you're determined and disciplined, you've done what you needed to do on the front end, so you can reap the rewards on the back end. Um, but you have to put yourself in that position. No one else can put you in that position. And I like what it said here, that God helps those, the Creator helps the people that help themselves. And there are two things that I think of, in my, that say will not change the condition of a people until they first change the condition, change themselves, or they change their own condition, the condition of their own hearts. God will not change the condition of a people, whether it be oppression, tyranny, or what have you, until they first change that which is within themselves, with themselves. So these are unseen things. You putting on a new new shirt or new hat to make you look like a bishop or a imam or a preacher or whatever you call it. Um, you can be dressed in the finest things, but internally you're ravaged, you're rags. Which said God will not change the condition of a people until they first change that within themselves. And then another thing, which I think I mentioned on this cast, is tying your camel. When it's time to pray, there's an adage in the desert when caravan. These are fleets of camels and traders and merchants that are going throughout the Middle East, the Arabian Peninsula, and everywhere else. And time to pray, some people could just hop their camels and start praying in the middle of the desert with tying their camels down to nothing. And when they would get done praying, the camels were in the distance and they'd have to go catch this camel, right? And the camel can move a good bit faster than we can. But it says to tie your camel, then trust in Allah. So tie your camel first. Make sure that what with the provision that you've been granted is protected. That you sense. So tie your camel, then trust in Allah. And God helps those who first help themselves. So help yourself, tie your, and then have faith. There's some faith in even being able to say, I'm going to tie my camel. There's faith there, right? There's planting of faith. There is, it's not like faith is absent or missing in that, but you are doing all that you can do before you ask God to do what he does. So that's all I have for that one. What about you?
So, Brandon, I kind of have just, and you did say this word prepared. And that was my word for this one. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. You better eat your Wheaties in a sense that's meaning for sure. Be prepared. Are you physically, mentally, spiritually fit in all your doings? And then the word well intentioned, where it says there are many well intentioned people who will tell you not to worry about the future. All you have to do is place your faith in God. And we've also heard faith without works is dead, right? And it
Yeah.
reminds me of the young farmer that came back after praying for hours, sat on the riverbank, had sense enough, had the ability to think enough after I pray, let me go sit, not run out and go into the noise, but let me go sit amidst nature. And in that moment, he received an answer of what to do now while I wait in faith.
Mm.
While I faithfully wait, I'm going to be doing something because I've had my Wheaties. And Brandon, when you mentioned the breakfast, being one of the most important meals, and talking about the breaking of fast, whether you eat that at 9 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock, if that's your first meal, you are breaking that fast.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So think, if you've never heard that, I remember hearing that for the first time. It's like, okay, so breakfast could be at 6 o'clock p.m. if that's your first meal. You are breaking the fast. How is this applicable? You guys, we just have to create things that seem so silly or so unimportant, right? To
Yeah.
make it through, to be intentional about being physical fit to get where you're going, being mentally, spiritually fit to get where you're going. If you're not eating your Wheaties, what are you eating? What's filling you? What's preparing you or keeping you from being prepared?
Right.
What are you eating? What are you feeding your spirit? Are you stuck on Atlanta's Housewives? Um, right? I mean, really, every time I see a commercial, and I don't want to get into that because it's just not that kind of day. But what's your Wheaties? What
What's your
is
Wheaties?
your Wheaties?
I like that. What's your Wheaties?
What's your Wheaties?
I'm gonna ask the people in the comment. I'm gonna say, oh, man,
Yeah, really though.
y'all let me know what's your Wheaties. What's your
What's your Wheaties?
Wheaties?
And are they good for you? Because let's keep it real. Are they good for you? Or are they not?
Right.
Brandon, you also
Exactly.
brought up the
Exactly.
subject of people. Why people? Some people are offended when we are eating our Wheaties and they are feeding us spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. Mike and I were just talking about this yesterday. Mike, I don't know if you caught that, but we were just talking about people, how people, many of them shy away from you when you or feel some kind of way about you trying to grow, about
Yeah.
your seed peeping up out of the ground. People will be offended by the change that they see in you. And it is because then you either make them show up or do what they're doing, in most cases, shy away. because they're not eating their Wheaties. They don't want to eat their Wheaties because whatever side you choose, whatever side you're on, is the side that you've chosen to be on. Because
Mm.
if you're waddling in your mess, that's your choice. That's your choice, period. And rarely will I say put a period behind things like that. Period. You've chosen to be there. Why? Because I'll tell you someone else. As I say, you give me your story and I'll tell you somebody with a story that would kill you, but they made it through. They made a different choice. So this one's basically about, are you prepared? Are you determined? KL says, my Wheaties is my faith, real talk. And I get that. Yeah, I get that. And KL, I'm hard on you. What does that mean? My Wheaties is my faith. What does that mean? Because there are plenty of people that say they have faith. So I'll use this one. Thank you for sharing it. People say, and that goes back to there are many well-intentioned people who will tell you not to worry about their future, or but the future.
Mm-hmm.
But there are plenty of those people who will tell you that and are doing just that.
Mm.
They're not only worrying about their future, they are worried about the past. And so they're stuck and comfortably stuck, meaning, like the lady told me about the window, sometimes you don't know it's broken until you fixed it.
Mm. Mm.
So, are you prepared? What's your Wheaties? That's my spiel for today.
Mm.
Because
Thank you, Mom.
truth be told, most of us are not doing the work. We might be eating the Wheaties. We buy them, maybe even eat them, put them in our mouths, but don't swallow it. You just hold it there because you can't break free from the place that you got stuck, that you're living in. So you miss blessings. Brandon, I was so trying to remember what you said about yesterday. I was trying to remember it yesterday, what you said about pride will make you miss blessings. And what else about the lessons?
I forget. When I don't forget what I said, but it was something around the lines of like if you allow pride to block your blessings, you'll always have
Have
the
the
same
lesson.
lesson. You'll always
Have the
have the
same
same
lesson.
lesson. Like
Yeah,
life will always try to teach you the same lesson. So you'll find yourself going through the same things over and over and over again, creating patterns of dysfunction, of despair, of of mess. Really,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
And we're like, why do I keep going through this? Why? There's something that you have not learned because life is happening for you. And in order for you to get to the next level, whatever that is, it could be emotionally, physically, it could be whatever. It's like fighting. If I keep getting jabbed in the face, maybe I should move my head, you know,
Right,
before I throw this punch. Maybe
right,
if I keep getting kicked in the leg, maybe I should faint before I come in or take the fight to the ground. And that's honestly that's why I like physical sports, competitive sports, uh, especially for young men, because it teaches you these character traits. It develops your character um, for the real world, and you can transpose determination. You can transpose patience. You can transpose commitment. You can transpose work ethic uh, from that space into your personality, into your work, into your family, right? Because I'll be thinking sometimes to myself, I'm patient in some of these positions, right? I'm patient in fighting and doing this and doing that. Why can't I be patient at home? Why can't I be patient in a conversation with someone I love that I might disagree with, right? But I can be patient while somebody's trying to punch me in the face.
hmm,
So we know that we're capable of many things, but are we capable? Are we giving ourselves that? Um, do we believe that we're capable of it? First off, do we understand? And if we do believe that, are we willing to do what we have to do in order to have that patience? Are we staying true to the values to ourselves? So I do want to say something too. Mike, Uncle Mike, man, I meant to call you yesterday. I know I said happy birthday to you here on in this season podcast, but y'all just want to give another happy birthday to my Uncle Mike. He is he's in the process of transforming himself, y'all. I hope he doesn't mind this, but I think my Uncle Mike's lost over 150 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 100 150 pounds. Within Mike, let
I
us know
think it's more. I think
how
it's
much
more.
weight you've lost, man, in the last year and a half, two, something like that. This man, a football star, ex-football star. Y'all might remember him here in Memphis at Tresvent, number one. Went on to do great things in football, and as he got older, he had gained some weight and lifestyle change, got married, and all these other things. And I think he just hit a point one day where he was like, something's got to change, something's got to give, I have to do better, or I won't be alive. You know what I mean? I think that was told to him by a doctor or something that Dr. G, shout out to Dr. G. And see, I've never met this doctor in my life, but I know her story. I know what she said because I've listened to the inspiration that she gave to my uncle. 165 pounds in 2 years. I weigh 165 pounds, Unc. Hold on. You lost a whole me. You
Oh,
know,
you.
you lost a whole me becoming your best self. So congratulations, man, and happy birthday, and may God bless you with more success, with more physical fitness. And I'm sure and I'm positive, and I've heard my Uncle Mike say this, that the things that he does physically, by waking up in the morning and running miles and miles every day, by eating the berries at night instead of eating fried foods, by disciplining himself, and getting to bed and waking up on time, that those things have helped him in life, in the rest of life. Like for me, waking up in the morning and praying, waking up and doing this podcast even, has made my day more efficient. It's made me have a jump on the day instead of the day having a jump on me. So this is, you asked me what's my Wheaties? This is my Wheaties.
And Brandon, Mike says, and I love when he says this. I didn't lose weight. I lost the weight. And I
Mm-hmm.
see that as the weight, the things that had kept him um, unprepared, right?
Mm-hmm.
The weight where he had gotten stuck in many different places. So he didn't just lose weight; he lost the weight, and now that's powerful. So sometimes we can be 110, but we still need to lose weight. We can still be barred down because stress, trauma, and all that can also make you small. That shows how different we are, right? And the things what you may need, it may be totally different from what I may need to lose the weight. To lose the weight. And then KL, I want to make sure I think you misunderstood what we were saying. When I talked about pride, I wasn't speaking about the faith. Faith and pride is different. I'm just making the point of we have an alarming number of people who say they are faithful, yet they are still fearful. They still worry about not the future, but also the past. So I was making it applicable to this book, not you, sir. So y'all, KL and I go way back, so I can talk to him however I want to talk to him, just so that y'all know. But so two different things. I wasn't speaking about, although pride and faith is a subject, I wasn't speaking about in this instance of what you meant, that us calling it pride and you call it belief or faith. So two different things I was speaking on there. But thank you for sharing that. So that's all I have, Brandon. Um, yeah, that's all I have for this one. Another great one.
Yeah.
We can sit. What if we sat on the corner of the couch every day and just ate Wheaties? Wheaties is supposed to be good for you, right? But what if that's all you ate, and you sat there and waited? Wait, there's that word. You waited for um, life to happen, life to come to you. You know, I don't have to do anything because these Wheaties are good for you. I'm eating them, right?
Hmm.
It would not do. It would not bring justice to your life. It
Hmm.
would not bring value to your life if you just sat and ate Wheaties, thinking Wheaties are good for me, so all I have to do is eat them. And
It's more.
sometimes, and that's what I mean, we could have faith, but like the guy did, the young farmer, he had that faith, but he worked. He did it. He put his faith to work, right? And we can have faith. We can say we have it, just like we say we love ourselves. But listen to the talk you talk. Listen to the excuses you make when things happen, how your ego shows up, how your pride shows up, how you
Mm.
always want to choose you in the way that you are never wrong. It's never you. It's always somebody else. Someone else caused this. Somebody said something to me. Somebody did something to me. So this is what I'm going to do. And what you do brings you no value because it's not feeding your growth. So we need to learn to be less offended, right? And in the offense, say, what is it? What is this about? What is this teaching me? How is it helping to prepare me? How do I need to eat these Wheaties? Because sometimes the Wheaties are stale. Maybe you've left them in there too long. And you need a new box. You need a new thing, a new thought, a fresh acknowledgement, fresh perspective, a fresh box of Wheaties. Matter of fact, just get rid of the ones you have. A fresh box.
Yeah.
So
Go get you some chickens. Hey, speaking of, shout out to my daughter, Kitsali, and my son Tupac. Today, they are going to be embarking on a journey to raise their own flock brood of chickens. So we're going to get them. We got some chickens already, but they're grown. So we're going to get, I think, 4 or 5 more chickens for them to raise from chicks. So I'm probably going to keep them in this room for a while. And Mom, I don't know if you know, but I like to sleep in this room because it helps like my back, a bunch of reasons. But I like to sleep in here at least for part of the night. So we might have some baby chicks back here tweeting around. It, yeah, right. You just hear them. It'll sound like birds, but I don't know. Maybe I can show them on the show, and that'll be funny. See what they have to
country bone, y'all. And I remember seeing Zali for the first time. She without just she just went outside to get the eggs, and I'm like, girl, you got to let me know you're going outside to get the eggs. And she's all over in there getting the eggs out, and I'm like, and this was last year, I guess it was. Her little self, oh yeah, she went out to get some fresh eggs.
say.
So
Yeah. You
that'll
said
be beautiful.
you said it was last year. Is that what you said?
I believe it was last year. What is it?
Yeah.
What is it? May? Yeah, I believe it's like the late part of. I don't know, but she did. She. It seems like a while ago. She went out to get the eggs,
Yeah.
and when I went out, or maybe the first of this year, but she went out to get the eggs out.
Hmm.
Yep.
She loves it. So that means she was 4 years old,
Yeah.
going outside in the
Yeah.
chicken coop getting eggs.
Yeah. It's
But that, I
all
mean,
in the chicken coop.
I will say this: she is so smart, and she remembers so much, and so detailed. She can make like uh, she she can make relations to different things that I hadn't told her were related.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so I'm trying to
I was
cultivate that.
I was truly blessed and shared the story of her room. And you guys will let you go here because I know we're having family talk now. But so I had asked her and her brother when I went over about a week or so ago about, keeping their room clean. So I helped them clean it up. And I said, when grandma comes now, she wants the room to be clean. And so I went a few days ago and it wasn't bad. They just had a few little things on the floor. But my granddaughter cried. She said, Grandma, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made a mistake. And I had to tell her, it's okay, baby. The room is not, it's not bad. You did good. But she was just so brokenhearted. So I went back the day after
She's
and I
so
saw her
sensitive.
standing to the window. Yeah, she's so sensitive and so loving. And so I went back and I saw her standing there at the window. But when I went in the house, she was gone. She wasn't, Tupac was there in my lap talking and all that. And I asked Brandon, I said, where's Zolly? He said, I think she went to her room. Well, y'all, she was back in the room making sure it was clean. And then she came out and she told me, Grandma, my room is clean. You can come see it. And so I
Before
just thought, that's beautiful, you guys. For her to think about it, to care about it, and to go in and make sure it's done before I get in the house, right? Think about the process of that 5-year-old. She's eating her Wheaties. She's eating her Wheaties. Now, in the moment of her saying she's made a mistake, of course, I talked to her about, baby, we make mistakes. And I even told her, I said, Grandma's room is not all the time. It's not always clean like I want it. I might have something, in the chair or something like that. So I just tried to make sure she knows that we all make mistakes and that this is something that's fixable. And Grandma's not angry with you at all.
and it wasn't a mistake. But anytime she
Right.
sees like that, the people that she loved, like you or me or
Mm-hmm.
her mom,
Yeah.
have any type of disapproval or like, hey, this is wrong, like she's like, no, oh no, I gotta do this, I gotta fix it now, it's gonna be better next time. It's like, baby, it's all good. Like,
Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
being a child. This is the process of you learning. And I think
Right.
what happens is she understands, or she's realizing that the adults know more than me. Why do they know more? Why do they
Right.
know what this is and what that is, and why
Right.
don't I know? And I'm trying to show her that
Yeah.
this is the
And
process
you're
of her
right,
learning.
Brandon, because
So,
she told
and
Tupac a few days ago that you're not an adult. You can't do that. So you're right. She does. And this is the same little girl who, when Tupac, the neighbor had bought them some remote control cars, and because Tupac was younger and seemingly needed more help, I was helping him, and she was over to the side doing her thing. And after a little bit, she says she's crying, Grandma, what about me? And that was an awakening moment for me, because as adults, we don't say, even if, because, we make people feel some kind of way, but sometimes you have to let them know how they've made you feel so that they can understand and correct it, like what you need. An adult in those situations, if you would have been out with some friends and they made you feel some kind of way, you'd go home and you pout and you'd be mad and maybe not talk to him again. But this young girl said, Grandma, what about me? So
yeah,
she's saying, help
yeah.
me too. I need help with this as well. So we
She
can
actually
learn a
helped
lot
me.
from the
She
baby.
actually, she actually, yeah, I was about to say, she actually helped me that because,
Mhm.
like, I'll say this: my children are teaching me. I'm teaching them how to be adults. They're teaching me how to be a father in a very
Mhm.
interesting way. Like, I'm learning
Mhm.
to be a father with them, if that makes sense. I don't even
Right.
know if that makes sense. It's not like directing, like, okay, daddy needs to do this, daddy needs to do that, but it's more so of we're on a journey of learning together. I don't have it all figured
Mhm.
out. And I think I would do a disservice to my children and to my relationships of thinking that I have it all figured out.
Yeah.
And because I don't, and realizing how much my state of being affects my children, my family, um, it makes me carry that over to my friends, to my acquaintances and people that I meet throughout the day. So with my friends now, I'm a lot more open. I'll say, not even that, more like, I guess, direct and open, especially about, something that I might feel a certain kind of way about. And I've had, a number of people be like, uh, when you start expressing yourself, they're like, are you okay? Well, I didn't mean to, because they're so not used to people being direct. They think maybe you're upset with them. And I'm like, no, I'm not upset. I'm just trying to be open with you, upfront with you. This is a small thing. Like, I just felt kind of weird when this happened, and it made me feel this way, or let's discuss that, because I really am in this space to where if I have a certain emotion, I'm like, okay, that's telling me, it's informing me that I need to do something. Like, there's something that
Mhm.
I need to make right. and I want to digest my emotions. Like you said, eating the Wheaties or putting them in your mouth and not swallowing them and not ingesting them and not digesting them. I think we do the same with emotions. We'll feel emotions and we're just like, whatever, man. I felt that way, right? But we're
Mm-hmm.
not letting it inform our decisions or change, um, or have any effect on our reality in life. And I'm not saying it should make the decisions for you. Like I always say, they should inform your decisions, not make them for you. But let them do what they do. Let them digest them, so you're not emotionally constipated. I feel like a lot of people are emotionally constipated because you're not letting them pass through. You're not letting um, this stagnation in the flow of your emotions. If your heart is a river, your emotions can be dammed up, right? So don't let your heart be damned. All puns intended. So yeah, my children have taught me how to be a father, but I had to be willing to learn. So I did everything I can and could to prepare for fatherhood, but there was still nothing that could do it. So like I try to be there, for their when they go to sleep at night. We have little rituals and things like that, little things that I sing. Like I'll sing in my daughter's ear at night. You know, I'll do something else with my son, and they know that this is their thing. This is their thing with me. I spend time specifically with my son on some days, and then specifically with my daughter on other days. And in the beginning, they're like, "Why are you taking that person, my sister out, and not me? Or why are you taking my brother out and not me?" But I try to balance that. So man, thank God for children. We can, like you said, Mom, we can learn so much from them. But I don't want to keep y'all
Yeah.
too long on the people in the comments. Think they're
The people.
benefiting from it, huh?
Okay, cool. I'm
Yeah.
gonna post and I'll say this in real quick and we'll jump off, Brandon. Emotionally constipation is the bottling up of okay, let me just put it out here. You guys can read it. How about that?
Oh, there's an actual thing called
This yeah,
emotional
emotional
constipation.
constipation is a thing, a
Somebody,
whole thing. Mm-hmm.
oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was just.
No, it is. It is. It's the bottling up of emotions or the inability to communicate feelings as needed. There's that word. When we are unable to communicate what we think or how we feel, emotions often become compounded. Y'all know how we feel when we need to poop. Let's just say it like that so y'all get it, right? You know how it feels when it ain't working right. It changes everything.
We really having a family discussion. I mean, we went from the
I
boardroom
mean,
to
but
the
for
to the
real, you got
bathroom.
to you. That's why I
Nah,
say
baby.
you got to be crazy with your stuff weird because man, this the way the world puts it to you, it ain't working. So let's just keep it real. You know how it is and how it feels and how you are aggravated, agitated, mean, hateful, whatever. You eat.
That's constipation, y'all. That's
That's
your emotional
constipation.
constipation.
So emotional constipation, yeah, that's a whole thing.
That's
So
why you got that boo boo attitude. We call it.
yeah, you got the boo boo
You
attitude.
got
You
that
eat
boo boo
your
attitude.
Wheaties, but they're not. Yeah, they're not working because it's
You
all
need some.
it's got so much to work through.
You
You
need some
know.
fiber, baby. You need some.
Yeah.
Hey, what did it say
Add
on the
some
what?
fiber to
Oh,
them Wheaties.
hey, check this out. Every thought which enters our mind, every word we utter, every deed we perform makes an impression on the innermost fiber
Fiber
of our being.
of
Y'all
our
get
being.
that fiber in you. Get that fiber in you. And let me say this too before we go. Um, are there people in your life that you are emotionally constipated with specifically? Do you have a people pleasing attitude? Because I think a lot of people who are emotionally constipated are either have certain social anxieties about addressing or are people or both.
Hmm.
To where they don't want to express the the true depth and breadth of their emotions or their discontent with or displeasure of a certain situation or conversation or how somebody made them feel, and so they beat around the bush instead of being direct, which only makes them in a worse position. And I see so many cases where, I don't say so many, but I see a lot of cases where people are emotionally constipated and then all of a sudden they have emotional diarrhea. Like all of a sudden it's like this gotta get out and they have an explosion, they blow up on the person. that they needed to have just a simple conversation with, right? And now they're in the wrong. It seems like they've transgressed because they've been building up all of this discontent, this displeasure, this anxiety, this regret, even. And so they're not meaning what they say and saying what they mean, right? As you always tell me, they're not at all. So they've developed relationships on false pretenses. They've developed relationships where, one person thinks that they're cool and the other person is like, I really don't function with you like that. But in their face, they all smiling and, hey, like I see that so many times, like people faking friendships, people faking relationships, people faking like everything's cool, and then after after the situation, they go and talk behind each other's back. I'm like, if you bring any dog that brings you a bone about somebody else will bring your bones to somebody else too. Does that make sense? Anybody that comes to you speaking about someone else that you might even know, right? They bringing you a bone about somebody else. Trust and believe that same person will take your bones to someone else. So, what is it about you that made them feel so comfortable to tell you? To we call it backbiting. In Islam, we call it backbiting, which means like if you're talking about somebody and they're not present, like you're saying something that they wouldn't like to be said, or you're mentioning them in a negative light, without them being present, right? Especially if you have no right, like they haven't wronged you or anything. We call it backbiting. It's as if you were eating the flesh off of their back. Who is it that would like to taste the flesh of their brother? That's what you do, or that's what it's likened to when you speak about someone in a negative light and you don't say it to their face. Or you don't bring it to their attention. There's an etiquette there in Islam. There are etiquettes to everything. There are communal etiquettes. There are personal, interpersonal etiquettes. There are individual etiquettes. There are familial etiquettes, and ways of doing things, from proximities that we keep around certain people to how we conduct business and contracts. There's etiquette, right? Even into approaching a group of elders. Who gives salams first? If I'm approaching a group of people, I have the responsibility of giving peace to them first. I'm not just walking by and waiting for this group of people to give me salams. I give salams to the people as I go by, right? Like there's etiquette to everything. And one of those things is how we do conflict resolution. If there's an issue that you have with someone, you should take them in private. If there's an issue I have with somebody, I'm not to bring it up publicly to them. Like while we're in a public space. Hey, you remember that time you did this? In front of everyone. It's not good etiquette. It only breeds enmity. So we've gone pretty far off today from the original topic of eating your Wheaties, but I think it's necessary, for us to get there with all these constipated emotions. So maybe you can't process your Wheaties. Maybe you can't even go out there and be your best self. Maybe you don't have the mental, the space. When you use your laptop for too long, or I don't know, because I save a bunch of documents and things on my laptops, and it says you have low disk space, or you have low memory. You know what I mean? Are on your phone, you've got too many pictures and photos that you don't need. You just snapped it up for like 2 years, and you got all these photos on your phone, and you don't need half of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So your phone is emotionally constipated. You got all these memories you don't even want. So it's time to clean that up. Maybe you can't. Now your phone can't function. You can't even make a proper call. You can't download that app that you need for work or for your business. Why? Because you got all these photos of yourself. You got selfies and ussies. All through your
So that means even your phone has a max, right?
Yeah,
Even your
absolutely.
phone was built and created for exactly what it was created for. But when it's constipated, it cannot operate. When it does not eat the Wheaties and able to digest it, right? It does
Yeah.
not work properly. So Brandon, yeah, let's get out of here. I did put out
Get out of here.
the comment because there's such a thing as emotional diarrhea as well. There is a thing.
Dang.
Yeah,
Hey,
there is a
I'm,
thing.
I'm dropping
So
them today, but
yeah, emotional diarrhea is a whole thing there. So I won't
wow.
read it, but it is out there.
Wow. Wow. Okay, cool. Well, thank y'all so much for rocking with us. We had a couple comments here too. Um, I appreciate y'all. Got one of the MMA guys coming in. Appreciate that. Kurosaki Khan, AD, Sonny, appreciate you, man. Far From Home Chronicles, always coming in and showing love. But they said, one person said, AD said, you a mind reader. Man, I'm going through that right now. Yes, backbiting. He said etiquette. There are etiquettes in Islam. So thank y'all. Thank y'all for this, for the comments, for being active on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And I hope y'all keep coming to this. Please invite more people, especially for the people that are here every single day. Can you bring somebody tomorrow? I know it's Sunday, so I bet people don't have much to do, and I know people like to sleep in. But tomorrow, maybe the next day, next week, invite somebody. Be like, hey,
Or just share it when we go
yeah,
live. Just share it on your page. Just share it.
yeah,
We
that'd be
don't get
good.
anything out of this. Not looking for anything out of this. We're gonna be planning something really big for our 100th day. So plan to rock with us on that day. I'll have more information probably end of next week on that. But just
All right,
share it when we go live, share it. So, all right,
all
Brandon, I
right.
got to
Well,
get out of here. If you'll close it
me
up.
too. Yes, ma'am. So the title today was "You'd Better Eat Your Wheaties," and the quote comes from Leontine Kelly, the first African American female bishop in the Methodist Episcopal Church. And she said, there are no shade trees on the road to success. No shade trees on the road to success. Um, the last small paragraph of the passage said, be determined, be disciplined, be strong, seize opportunities. Remember that you will never be faced with a challenge you cannot overcome. And the affirmation that we read 3 times, y'all remember, that's 1 time for myself, 1 time for you, and 1 time for the person that you're going to send this to. But 3 times to really, really save this in your consciousness, to really incorporate this into your life, into the backdrop of your mind, right? It says, today I will gather strength to become more determined and disciplined in order to reach my goals. Today
I will gather the strength to become more
I'm disciplined in order to reach my. Said it out loud, say it internally with the voice in your mind. If you said it internally, say it out loud this time. Today I will gather the strength, determined, and disciplined in order to reach my goals. Thank you, guys. Remember, it's right there at the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see it going across right here, but we always leave the affirmation right there. So if you don't remember me saying it, I haven't memorized it when we read through those 3 times, feel free to look at your screen at the bottom right there, and that affirmation will be going across the screen. So thank y'all so much again for rocking with us. We'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Appreciate the comments, all the love. Remember, invite somebody tomorrow, and who knows, maybe we'll do something special for whoever invites the most people. But I love y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Mom, you got anything else?
Peace.
Peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.